welcome back. Wow, it's been a while. It has been a hot ass minute, and I acknowledge that. I want to start with an apology because it's so unfair to you that I was down in the dumps, that I was struggle busing, and that you didn't get to know why. Okay, but don't worry. I'm back and I'm gonna tell you fucking why. Okay. So about 4 weeks ago, my younger brother, I was about to say finally passed away, which is like true because he was in a vegetative state for like 15 months, but he passed away. And I had pre-recorded. So I was, like a couple of weeks out because I was like, I'll probably want to take a week off when that happens. And I was trying to be preemptive with it and proactive. And then it happened and it hit me a lot harder than I had anticipated. I really thought that I was ready for it to happen. I really thought that, you know, I I really thought that it wouldn't hit me as hard as it did because I I knew it was coming and I got to prepare for it and I had grieved so heavily for so long that when it actually came, I thought it's not going to hurt, it's going to be a relief. And it was to a degree, but there was a much larger portion that just ached. It truly did pain me because this this was my younger brother. This is someone who I love so much. And you don't anticipate losing. You don't anticipate losing the people you were kids with. And you grow apart when you get older and then you grow back together. And we were starting to grow back together. And then his accident happened and it really fucked with me. Um, and I really do feel appreciative for all the people that are around me and who have been supportive of me in this. I flew home. I went back to Florida and I went to the funeral. And it was really awkward given, family dynamics and all that. But special thanks to Jess for, you know, being one of the first people who found out and was there, came to the funeral, drove the 2.5 hours to be there and stayed by my side really the whole day. Um, and one of my best friends, Brandon, was also there. And a couple other people that I had like grown up with that I was like, wild that you're here. And they were like, yeah, absolutely. Like, why wouldn't I be? And it meant a lot. It really did. And like, I've always been the strong one in my family. Like it's frequently talked about. Like you're the one who takes care of things. You're the one who takes care of, the siblings that need it and this, that, and the other. So a lot of the funeral day, I was my other younger brother who I am very close with. I kind of just was by his side all day. And, throughout the funeral, stuff like that, just held him. Um, because it I think is really hard for him and I don't think he knows how to process it, which is understandable. He's a 14-year-old boy. Like that's so much to understand at that point in your life and to also have been through the absolute shit show of the trauma of watching it all happen and having a front row view is really tough. But I was really proud of him for having really firm boundaries, when family members were like, oh, come look at him, come say your final goodbyes. And he was like, I don't want to see him like that. Like that's not how I want to remember him. And there's a part of me that wishes that I had said that because I feel like this sounds fucked up, but like it does haunt me to have that image as my last image of him. Um, Trigger warning. Should have started with that. Um, I know someone who used to be a mortician, and he's given me a lot of insights on the mortician industry. It's very riveting, honestly. It's very cool. But it really bothered me that some of the things that they did, like they messed up his nose, right? He was very atrophied because he was in a hospital bed for 15 months. So seeing him just so frail and like his hair had thinned because of being in comas and his nose was not properly reformed by them. And what bothered me the most is that they didn't, they like cleaned up his face to make him look a little bit more alive, but they didn't make his fingers skin colored. And that was what really like hit me. And it still does. And it's still something that like sometimes I see when I close my eyes, and it just like kind of haunts me. Because he was so young. And it just, like, that one detail just stuck with me. So that was really hard. And I was, the strong person for everyone. And, the first person that I actually like really cried about it with was my boyfriend, who was so sweet and was like, "Oh my God, I don't know what to do here." And I was like, I don't know why I'm crying with you. I haven't cried in front of anybody else. Like, it's just coming out of me. And I was like, I guess this is a compliment to you. I feel safe. But at the funeral, Jess was there, and like, she's my other person that I just like lost it. Like, full ugly tears, the whole 9 yards, because she's, one of my safe people. And I was really happy to have her there because, she knows what it's like to go through this. The dead siblings card just came in the mail. So like, yippity doo dah, welcome to the Dead Brothers Society. And it was really tough. It was really tough. And it hit me a lot harder than it did. And it sent me for a spiral because he was 20 years old. And I just kind of like sat there and I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, life is so fragile, and it's already something that I struggle with, right? We've talked about it. I struggle with this, like, this warped perception of time, that I don't have enough time, and that like I only have 10 years left, so I have to make the most of them. And I'm like, that's not true. Like, I'm going to live well into my 80s. Like, I'm so sure of that. Like, my grandmother is very healthy, is 80 years old, but I'm like, my mom died when she was 36. She died in a freak accident. Like, I don't know why it's so internalized in me of like, I need to do these things before my time runs out. And I don't know when it's going to run out. So like, oh my God. Because then it makes me spiral. It really fucking does. It makes me spiral that like, I'm not where I should be. And maybe I'm not, like, maybe I'm not, but not for the reasons I think. And I think the biggest things that I tend to hyperfixate on is like, my whole life, every drive that I've ever had is that I don't even want to say I know in my soul, like, I am meant to be a mother. And I know that that's like the thing that I am going to find the most fulfillment in. My whole life, that has been the like craving, the most like primal internal desire of mine is like having a family, building a family, and nurturing a family. And so it like fucks with me. It does. Cause I'm also like, I'm 24. I don't want to have kids right now. Like, I want to be young and free and wild and do all of the, like, I want to do everything that I can to like maximize my youth and then have children so that I have good stories and I have a full life and all of the things. And then at the same time, I'm like, my ovaries are murdering me from the inside. Like, what the fuck are you doing? We had a plan. All right. You had 24 years to live. Start popping them out. And I'm having to like unlearn some things. It's great. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But yeah, so that's why I was away. I went into full freeze mode, and then I had a spiral because I was like, I don't have the social structure that I thought that I would have. Like, I'm officially at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm putting down roots here. Like, I have been running nonstop for the past 6 years. I've never stayed in a place for longer than 3 years. And I'm at a place in my life where I'm like, I have a really lovely, happy, healthy relationship that I have a whole other subject that we're going to dive deep into because fuck, I don't know what to do about it. I, have a podcast that I love and I'm passionate about. I have my artistic outlets, my passion projects, and I love, doing my little social medias on the side. I have all these things that really do fulfill me. And then I look at the other things that used to fulfill me and now feel very hollow, very empty. And that I look at and I'm like, those are the tension points in my life. And I know there's a quote that's like, the job that like your dream job that you've prayed your whole life for is going to be the same job that you stress about when you're going to bed.
And like, I know that. But are there ways that I can find a happy medium? Because like, I don't live to work. Like my whole life does not revolve around like, I love going to my 2 to midnight job. No, I don't. I really kind of have gotten to a point where I'm like, I resent the fact that it negatively impacts my life because like I don't get the sleep schedule that I would like to have because I am like my circadian rhythm gone, fucking gone, right? I'm on call basically all the time, right? Like I have to be available during the weekends. So like I have weekends, but also I'm on like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for the phone call. I'm always in this kind of heightened state. And it like really kind of sucks because like if I want to go out on the weekend, I'm responsible for the things that are happening all night long. So if I get a phone call and they're like, "Help, we need you," and I'm at a bar, I'm like, "Well, fuck, now I'm not at the like mental capacity that I should be at." And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that I have to put in vacation time to go to a junior league meet. Like I don't have the same ability to create social connection the way that other people do based off of the job that I currently have. And this was a job that I worked my ass off for 2 years and that I've loved. And I do like the job. I think I'm very good at it. I think it is something that like I like to do things I'm good at, right? Who doesn't? But I don't like that it's all that I have because I don't have the flexibility. I don't have the luxury of the time to do anything else. So that was something that kind of hit me where I was like, I'm 24 and I'm able bodied and I should be doing things. I should be building hobbies. I should be building networking. I should be building friends and doing all of these things. What the fuck is going on here? I need to go do that because when I die, right? This job is going to replace me in 20 days, right? Like the minute I die, help wanted goes in the window. Like what matters in life is the people and the friendships and the relationships that I nurture. And I can't do that in my current state to the capability that I would like to. So I'm having to like look at where I put my time and how I invest in my life. And that's scary. It's so fucking crazy because I've spent the past 6 years going, I have people that like it's a good enough, right? It's good enough. It could be better, but it's good enough. And like, it's just too much work to make it better. And like, then having to sit here and be like, why is my quality of life shit? Right? Oh, well, because you didn't invest in that. Crazy how that works. So I'm trying to do better about that. I'm actively, looking for ways to build my life. I, joined my local junior league. I am working to build social connections. I'm taking up new hobbies. Your girl has started disc golfing and she's not good, but she's going to be, right? How much of we're putting it out there into the universe right now. Ready? I am going to be like out of nowhere, just like an amazing disc golfer. I'm going to go pro. It's going to be my main source of income. I'm going to be an influencer on the side. I'm going to be like, oh my God, hot girl throwing frisbees and being really good at it. And you guys are going to be like, oh my God, that's crazy. So moving on from life updates. Oh, other updates. Sweet, sweet baby Tromix, my sweet loving Andrew is on trail, which means he's been gone for 3 weeks. So that added to it. I am horribly, horribly depressed. Not horribly depressed, but I'm definitely feeling it. Like, I don't know how people in long distance relationships do this for like long periods of time. Okay. It has been 3 weeks and I'm like at the stage of like, I'm pissed off. Like, I'm just pissed off all the time because I'm like, why the fuck aren't you here? Like, I know that you're doing the thing that fuels you and fills you up and like all of the things, but like, I miss you so much. And like, I talk to him every day. Talk to him every day. We're texting very frequently. Like, there's been a couple days that he's had no service and like still sends me a message is like, hey, I'm safe. I'm done for the night. Like, you have my location. I love you. Sleep. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Like, if I can get service. I'm like, I love this and I appreciate this and thank you so much. But like, I miss you, like it's rough. Come home. Anyways, so side note with that, I want to talk about living with a partner. And we'll get to that on a future date. If you are listening to this and you have experience with that and you would like to share that experience, go ahead and ring me, right? Send me an email, longdfriendspod@gmail.com. Slide in my DMs, like do whatever you need to do. Okay. Because I need advice. I need help. I need wisdom. Okay. I need wisdom because that's where we're at. But I did save my thoughts while I was in Florida. I was still taking notes. I want to talk about that this is not a podcast, it's an audio essay, right? That's a statement that I put down here, right? This is not a podcast, this is an audio essay where I share vulnerabilities and I share straight facts of the truth of life. Okay? And it's just existence. All right. I'm just here to entertain. Okay. I was put on this earth to be a silly, goofy girl and entertain the world. Right. Second of all, why do body parts fall asleep? I want to talk about this because I fell asleep, right? Laying on my shoulder, like laying on my arm, my shoulder, like I usually do. And I woke up and I genuinely thought that my arm had died. I could not feel my arm at all. And then it was like painful because I could feel that it was heavy, but I could not feel in it. And so I'm like punching my arm, squeezing it, like I can't feel it. I can't feel it. And I'm terrified. I was like, I'm gonna have to amputate my arm. This is gonna ruin the tour, right? Horrified, slowly got feeling back. And like it hurts. It hurts so bad when you lose feeling in a body part and then gain it back. Like, why is it that painful? And how does it happen? Is it just the restricted blood flow? Like, is it what is going on with that? And like, I probably could research it. Let's Google it. Why do feet fall asleep? There we go. Why do feet fall asleep? The immediate things are alcoholism, multiple sclerosis, diabetes, radicopathy, lupus, pharmaceutical drugs, stroke, vitamin deficiencies, diabetic neuropathy, infection, injury, peripheral artery disease, pregnancy, tarsal tunnel syndrome, tumors, fibromyalgia, hyperthyroidism, kidney failure, sciatica, spinal cord injuries, toxins, anxiety, Charcot-Marie tooth disease, and chemotherapy. Okay, well that's crazy. So according to Harvard, if your hands fall asleep, hands or feet fall asleep occasionally and normal sensation returns quickly, it's fine. Okay, so it can happen when a nerve is being compressed. It could also be like other issues, chronic inflammation, hormone imbalances. Amazing. Well, I don't like any of this. So we're going to go to Reddit because that seems more reliable. Reddit says that when your foot falls asleep and why does it tingle so much? The easiest way to think about it is how nerve conduction works. Nerves are like long fibers which link up so that each fiber has a small gap between the next cell. The gap is called the synapse. The nerve cells are arranged end to end so that the receiving end, the dendrite, flows along through the terminal end, the axon. Everyone knows electrical impulses flow along these nerves, but what we don't realize is that these electrical impulses are basically the flow of actual molecules, specifically anions and cations. Commonly, for example, calcium and potassium are the electrolytes, which transfer. Oh, so in terms of nerve conduction, ions build up in one side of the synapse until the action potential, a stimulus from the pressure of another nerve, the triggering of a neurotransmitter, etc., cause the ions to release into the synapse where they trigger the action potential along with the net nerve on the line, so on and so on. So what all of this has to do with your foot falling asleep is this. When you put pressure on a nerve for a long time, it screws the whole chain up in a physical way. Some nerves will be mispositioned so that the synapse is too wide for the ions and the neurotransmitters fill the gap. Some will have been cut off from the blood supply and will be trying to take in oxygen instead of signaling some to be too close to each other. Some will be too close to their signal source and get overstimulated, etc. It creates a confusing jumble of random output and input to your brain, and your brain is unable to interpret the mess. It registers as tingling. That's crazy. Oh, and then someone's like, there's a lot of issues with that. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not reading that. They're giving me medical terminology. Fuck that. Oh, and they linked something. No, not reading that. So, moral of the story, don't lay on your arm knees too long. They go night night And then they go, ah, when they have to wake up. So shout out to that. So that was another thought that I had. So I guess we can check that off. Some TV shows that I watched while I was unwell. I watched The Traitors. So good. Season 1, amazing. Ryan Lochte is just such a doofus and such a just like oaf of a human being. I love him. Okay. I loved it. They were like, and here's Ryan Lochte just kind of roaming around where he'd be like, I wonder if there's a secret door in here. Like, what a guy. So funny. I forgot that there was scandal about him in the Olympics. We're going to get into the Olympics. Don't you fucking worry. That's on my list. So, Traders, I highly recommend. Season 2, not loving as much, but season 1, crazy. Crazy. And I love that it's like Bravo celebrities, right? Like it's celebrities, but like a lot of people that like aren't super invested in the Bravo universe are going to be like, who the fuck are these people? Like, they're just people. It's like B-lists. Nobody like super famous is doing it. Also, I set screen time limits on my phone for social media because I'm trying to spend less time scrolling, trying to like better my life. I get so proud of myself when I don't get the notification that my time is up for the day. When I do a day and I don't have my time up, because the way that I did it is I have 2 hours for Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook per day. There's a lot of days that I go, ignore, don't care. Don't care. Give me my fucking Facebook back. Okay. I'm trying to see what the AI is convincing grandma to do. Okay. God bless my grandma. I love her so much. While I was down there, she was so sweet. I did stop and like say hello to her. I was like, hey, I love you. I know you turn 80 soon. So congrats. Boo, 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 boo. Let's get some ice cream. She fully, because I had a colonoscopy. If you didn't know, I had a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. I don't know if I talked about it because I have hot girl tummy. And my grandma was like, maybe you need to go gluten-free. Maybe you got celiac because my cousin has celiac. And I was like, maybe. So I came over and I'd called her and she was like, are you hungry? Like, let me make you some food. I was like, no, Grammy, I'm not hungry. Like, I'm good. I just ate. I'm okay. And I got over there and she was like, well, I'm making you pasta and meatballs. I made these meatballs with gluten-free panko crumbs. It's a gluten-free pasta. And I don't think there's gluten in the pasta sauce, but like to help with your stomach. And like, oh, to be loved. Like genuinely, when I think of like how people love me, I've talked about it before, but like I think of how my grandma loves me because she has never said, how do I do this for you? She just does. And even if it's not right, like she gives everything that she has to what she feels is, the best, like when I shared that my brother had died, so many people reached out to me like, if you need anything, let me know. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Oh, sweet angel baby. Sorry, I got interrupted because Andrew gave me a little phone call, which was so sweet, so kind, so generous. I love him so much. I really do. But like, I feel bad because I know that I'm like being selfish. Where I'm like, can you hurry up? And he was like, yeah, that is really selfish. It's like, I know. I'm aware. I feel bad about it, but like, yeah, it is human nature to act with our interests in mind. But either way, it was really weird to me when people were like, hey, if you need something, ask. Because I was like, well, I don't know what I need. And also, it feels like I'm burdening other people by asking for help. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I really don't. And I want to move on to other things that I've watched. I know that I'm forgetting something that I was in the middle of, and guess what? Don't care. We'll move on. I started watching Love Island. So one of his siblings was like, oh, you like reality TV? Are you watching this season of Love Island USA? And I said, no. Should I be? And they said, oh my God, yes. Yes, you should. So I did it. I started it and I binge watched all of it and I caught up like a fucking crazy person. Sorry, I had to make sure that we were recording. Okay, so I'm going to just go through my notes, okay? Because I took notes so that I could talk to his sibling about it and be like, okay, here's everything that I felt. And this is going to be long, so bear with me. Starting from the first episode, Why are all of these girls 25, but some of them, the filler makes them look like they're 45? The blindfolds and the handcuff bombshell scene, what the fuck, right? That was crazy that they're like blindfolded and handcuffed, and these bitches come in here and are just like making out with all of them, and they have to like watch their dudes get like absolutely slutty, right? Also, what if I'm a bombshell and I come on and I'm like, I don't want to kiss that guy. Like, he kind of seems gross. Like, I know I don't want him, but I still have to make out with him. That feels not okay. Hannah. Hannah is a hot mess, like fully. Also, very much a gaslighter. Leah struggles to facially emote because of her Botox, which, like, I love it, but also, girl, we're the same age. The fuck? She looks so much older than me. Kaylor feels like she's 19. She acts like she's 19. Kendall is such a patootie, and Hannah has been doing him dirty. Aaron, I have so many thoughts. I think he's little a little fuck boy who needs to get his shit together and needs to stop treating Kaylor like shit. Okay. Cause like even though he's like, I love you so much, he like fucks her over, right? Like the whole time he's like very clearly like has other motives. Why is it Love Island US, but not all of them are American? There's a lot of people from the UK and from Australia on it. I was like, there's a lot of not Americans on here for this to be Love Island USA. Hmm. How embarrassing is it for these guys to get up and say that they want to couple up with the bombshells and then not get picked? Like they fully the scene where they're like, gentlemen, if you want to couple up with a bombshell, please come stand by them. And like multiple guys got up for Nicole, right? Went like stood by Nicole and were like, I want to be paired up with you. And she chose one, and then the other two have to go back to their girl that they're already with, and they're like, yeah, I thought she was hotter than you. Like, then you got to sleep next to him for another week. Like, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Rob is sneaky. I don't like how sneaky Rob is because Rob did Leah dirty, okay? And we'll get further to it. But like Rob fully to Leah's face was like, "No, like obviously I only want you. I don't know why these girls keep coming into the villa and like thinking that I'm interested in them. Like I'm not. I'm only interested in you. I don't know why they keep choosing me. Like that's crazy." Because you're telling them that they can. Like you're fully like, yeah, I'm interested. I actually really like blondes. And then you like go back to Leah, who's a brunette, and you're like, no, I don't know why you would think that. Like clearly I'm with you. Insane. The bugs there, huge, disgusting, nasty. Or as Kendall said, nasty. Janae, she's so mom of the group coded and is so pretty. Like she genuinely seems like the prettiest person inside and out. And I love her. And I grew to love her even more further on when she met Kenny. We'll get into it. The fact that she met Kenny and like 2 days later was like, oh my God, so you want to get married to me? That's so real. It's iconic. It's so, I feel her. Um, we've been having issues from the start. Hearing some of them say that when it was like, oh, like for me, I'm watching it and I'm like, oh yeah, we're like 10 episodes in, and then realizing they've only known each other for 10 days. They are literal still strangers. And they're like, we've been having issues from the beginning. You've been there for 2 days. Iconic. Connor gave such gentleman vibes. And I straight quote, Connor gives such gentleman vibes. And I really hope he isn't because these boys are trash. Also, hate the makeout camera angles being this close. Why is it necessary to keep the sounds of them making out? Hate it. Like I'm just watching tongues flashing into each other's like hate it. Hate that shit so much. The producers have to be having the best time ever. I would love to be a producer on this show. It seems amazing. Common theme here too. I am obsessed with the girls getting ready room. The product placement amazing, right? So good, so gorge. Do they get to use those products? That's crazy. So like they really didn't need to bring a whole lot with them because that room was stocked, okay, with like nice makeup, skincare, the whole 9 yards. Also, are they getting their nails redone? Like all of them had their nails done when they came in, obviously. And later on throughout the show, like I kind of took note of it of like, oh, her nails are overgrown. Like she has acrylics and they are grown out. Like, is she going to do them herself or are they going to bring someone in or is she just going to have to wing it? Right. Seeing some of the girls' nails breaking, I was like, ooh, that's so real. I stand corrected on Connor, where he was like, I'm super drama free when he was with Janae. And then the minute Leah was single, he was like, I just want to explore it. And then he like in his confessional was like, no, I've been obsessed with Leah since I came here. Like she's actually the one that I wanted. And Janae was just like single. So I was spending time with Janae, but like I really want Leah. And then Leah being like, oh, okay. Leah immediately being like, I don't like him anymore. His skinny jeans give me the ick. So real. And I love that she's like, I know that I'm messy. I know that I like am a hot mess. I know that I don't do the right thing. Like I'm aware. Obsessed. I was right about Rob. Rob is sneaky. You know what this show is? It is a bunch of middle school relationships. Like, what happens if we put a bunch of adults into a situation where they can only have middle school relationships for weeks? Genius. Are they being prompted for how many one-on-one conversations they should have with a person? Like, they're in, do they need to have like 5 one-on-one conversations with the person they're in a couple with? Or are they just naturally like that? Like, or do they specifically pick people that they know will be like, wait, tell me more. A lot of thoughts. Honestly, I think it would be fun to be on here for the sole reason of having a girly pop time, getting ready and recapping before bed. Like the time that the girls spend getting ready for the day, putting on their makeup, like every scene that is all of the girls in the getting ready room. I just like, I felt like I was like that internal little girl and me was like giggling and like, they're spending time together and they're friends and they're playing and like that's so fun. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. And I miss that. And that's a big like I miss having like that sisterhood of like women around me. It's a common theme of like I loved having roommates. Like it had its ups and downs, but like I genuinely loved, having people around that like if something was going on, you had people with you. Like I don't want to experience life alone. Who does, right? Like I want witnesses to my life. I want to witness other people's lives. And I love the connectedness that comes with sharing experiences. So I love that. Miguel showing up with his breathe right nose strip and still making out with it on is iconic. So I was like, this is great. This is so good. He's sitting here with his nose strip, which he didn't wear one night. And they were like, Miguel has to wear his nose strip every night because otherwise he snores. And it was fucking annoying last night. And he was like, yeah, sorry, guys. Andrea being sent home is insane. If Rob leaves, that will be crazy. They just met 4 days ago. And at least Rob was fucking for real about the fact that he was like, yeah, I did just meet her 4 days ago, but I'm gonna leave with her. Immediate bullet point below it. Never mind, Rob is crazy and he almost told her that he loved her. Insane. She's going away and she was like, I want you to come with me. Like, well, here's the thing. He got up and he was like, no, if you guys send her home, you're also sending me home. Aaron loses his mind, right? And it's like sobbing. And it's like, no, not my buddy. Bromance of the season, right? And then he's like talking to her and he's like, because I love you. Oh, I didn't say that. Actually, that's crazy. And she was like, yeah, like we met 4 days ago. That is fucking crazy. Um, and then she was like, but like, I don't want you to leave and regret it. And he was like, you're right. I should stay. And he's like, I just love Andrea. Like I'm gonna stay here, and if somebody comes along, I'll be open to it. But like I want her. And then he like led on a bunch of other people, and like it just wasn't fair to them. It's sad. Aaron is on my shit list. Are they allowed to eat anything besides eggs and avocado toast? Because the only thing we see them eat is eggs and avocado toast every single morning. The 4th of July game. Are the game makers sadists? That was disgusting. Okay. Absolutely foul, nasty, disgusting. I'm traumatized from that. The raunchy races. What the fuck? The raunchy races were insane. It was during the Casa Amor week where it was like they all went to like a different house with like a fresh set of girls and guys. And they had these raunchy races where both houses got a text with a challenge at the same time. And whoever did it better won the point. And it was like, enact your favorite sex position. And they like fully were going crazy. The boys definitely went harder than the girls, right? Because all the girls were like, no, I'm committed to my guy. Like, I actually like the guy that I have, but like, sure, I'll make out with you, which how awkward, how weird, right? Like, that has to just feel so uncomfy. Um, Crazy. But like, damn, they really went for it. Like, good for them, I guess. The story from Casa Amor, my stomach was in my asshole. So Serena and Cordell and Kaylor and Aaron were in couples, and Casa Amor happened. They chose to go to the other house. Both girls were like, you know what, that's fine. They both slept outside in Soul Ties, which is like a little bed area outside. They both slept outside, not with the guys that were there. Because they were like, no, I really care about this guy that I have. I know that he wants to go like make sure that this is it, like wants to be tested to make sure that like I'm the person that he wants, but I feel confident in my relationship. So I know that they're not going to do anything too bad. And they did. Of course they did. Um Kaylor just losing her shit and sobbing hysterically. Iconic. Like, I feel that. I love the memes of her crying face. It's so funny. But like they sent them a video. They sent the girls a video of like, here's what the boys did, right? Like, oh, Serena told Cordell, like, I'm starting to fall for you. Like, I really like you. And he was like, oh my God. And then the next day he was like, yeah, I want to go to Casa Amor. I know that it took me 4 weeks for her to open up to me, but sure, I'll throw it all away. Idiot, right? Naturally. He's got a video where he's like, making out with this girl and like shaking her ass and all that. When he came back to the house and Serena doing the like, oh yeah, because y'all were dry enough, just and like reenacting it and him being like, huh? Chef's kiss. Cinematic art. Okay. Taylor is watching Aaron like make out with this girl, and he's like speaking to her in Spanish, and they didn't translate it for her. So she was like, what are they saying? These poor boys came into that house and were like, yeah, I'm looking for love. And none of the girls were like, hey, I'm not interested at all. And then they were like, hey, can you translate this for us? And he was like, yeah, he says that he wants to kiss her, but he doesn't want to hurt you. And then he does kiss her anyways. So funny. Serena being so angry that she can't stop laughing. So real. I feel that. I get that. I typically cry when I'm angry though. So like I go like insane. Her just being like, I'm not even mad. Honestly, do it. Have fun. Have fun. So real. Taylor's crying face is so sad. Like I get why it was so memeable. Taylor thanking God, it was funny, where she was like, thank you, God, for showing me this now. I really appreciate it. Looking out for me. And then she got back together with him. Crazy. The use of please, please, please is so good. Where they like edited it. It was like, please, please, please don't prove I'm right. And the girls are sitting there, they're like, huh, knew it. So good. Taylor's eyes bulge out of her head. When she cries, they swell up so much. And she looks like that one like claymation cartoon thing. You know it. It's like, I'll have to find it. It's the one, the like really creepy, scary looking one. Um, the Rob, Daniela, Aaron, Kayla, Casa Amor return. Aaron comes back without a girl, but he had kissed this girl named Daniela, and the video of that was sent to Kayla. So what they do is they ask the girls, do you want to recouple or do you want to stay single? The boy that you were previously coupled up with is going to return from Casa Amor, either single or with a girl. You will not know until you choose. And she said, I don't want him and I don't want one of these men. I would rather stay single. And then Aaron comes back by himself and he's like, yes, she stayed back. She wants me. Woohoo. And he walks in and he's like, yes, baby. Like, I love you. And she was like, I received a video of what you did at Casa Amor. And he goes, hey, can we talk about this? Let's step off. I think we need to talk about this. She said, no, I don't think we do. I saw everything I need to see. So good. Crazy. And then Rob, who is Aaron's best friend, Aaron went up to and was like, hey, this girl that I've been making out with all week long? I'm really not that into her. You should pair up with her because she's pretty. She's hot. You have her. I don't want her. I want Kaylor. You have this girl. So Rob comes back with her and Rob walks in with her and all of the girls are like, huh? Like, this is the girl from the video that was making out with Aaron. Like, and you just bring her back here. Like, that's crazy. Crazy. So, like, that whole love triangle square, insane. The girls staying single, 10 out of 10. Serena also said, I would rather stay single than be with you right now because I'm so angry that I opened myself up to you. I got vulnerable and I feel like you betrayed me. Kaylor then forgives Aaron like 10 minutes later. Like, I genuinely, I was like, that's depressing. That she was like, he was like, baby, please, I love you. She was like, just, I love you too. But why would you do that? Insane. Insane. I said, I swear to God, I'm not mean, but why do all of the Casa girls look like they have mistress looks and vibes? Like, they all just like had the like presence of like, close your eyes and imagine a mistress. That's it. Where like they just looked a little too doe-eyed and a little too like, hello, you know. Kendall stays as the number one guy. I know that he was an instigator. I know that he was problematic because he was like egging these boys on and was like, yeah, make out with these girls, do all of these things. I'm not going to, but like, do it. They have free will, right? He was the only one that was like, I'm going here because my boys are going here and like I want to see what happens, to be honest. I like he's a pot stirrer, but he's still the number one guy in the group. Janae, my queen with the if you can't choose between me and someone else, I'll choose for you. Because if you wanted to be with me, you would never have chosen her. Mic drop. Mic drop. Okay. Leah's face while hugging a sobbing Kenny is hilarious, but also Kenny crying makes me so sad. So Kenny came back with a girl, and Janae is like obsessed with Kenny, right? Like they're so good together. It's so cute. It's so sweet. I love them so much. But Kenny's like sobbing because he's like, I fucked up. I came back with someone because I thought she was gonna have someone, and I was like afraid. And he's crying, and Leah's like, what do I do? Like her face is just like, I'm hugging him, but like I don't feel comfortable doing it. So that's that. Someone needs to slap some sense into these new girls. Like all of them want to bitch and moan and cry about how the OG girls that have been in the house the entire time and have dated these guys for weeks, who just like randomly walked in with these women. They're like, they're being mean to us. And they're like, we don't know you. And also, we all had like, you're the mistress. You're the fucking mistress. And you're mad that the wife is pissed off and is like, I don't want to be your friend. I don't. Like, I feel like this guy just cheated on me. I don't want to be besties with you right now. I'm still hurt. And they're like, the OG girls are so mean. No, they're valid. Like they have every right to be. Like they're not being mean to you by having an emotional response to having their feelings stomped on and you having been a contributing factor to it. I think that's valid. Um, Serena said the quote to Cordell, who was like, Serena, let me talk to you. And she said, you made your choice, you made your bed, hump in it, and walked away. That shit was so funny. You made your choice, you made your bed, go hump in it. I got to use that now. Miguel bringing a girl back and then fully not paying attention to her was kind of funny. Like Miguel brought a girl back and was like, yeah, Leah, I brought a girl. And she was like, what the fuck? And he then proceeded to not pay any attention to her. And that girl was like, why did you bring me back? And he was like, I kind of wanted to make Leah jealous. And she was like, oh, okay, well, this sucks. Clearly. Can we talk about the fake teeth? Them bitches all got fake teeth. And I do find it funny because Rob was on Call Her Daddy and he was like, there was one girl in the Casa house that had bad breath and all of us knew it. And then I saw something and they were like, yeah, like veneers are stinky. Like veneers make you have bad breath, which now I don't want veneers. I've always wanted veneers. And now I'm like, don't want bad breath. Nope. I'll pass. I'll have janky teeth. Um, Rob seems very over Andrea though. Like Rob and Danielle are mm, mm, right? Rob and Leah. Rob's going up to Leah and he's like, you should leave the house with me. what if we just like got back together? And Leah's like, no, like obviously I care about you. Like I'm friends with you, but like I don't want you like that. Like you're fucking dirty, dog. We never see them put on sunscreen, and I do hope that they're wearing some because they're spending a lot of time in the sun. Cordell and Serena's fight on the dock is so messy and is genuinely some of the best TV I've seen in a long time. The way that Cordell follows Serena is so slow. So Serena like walks away and she's like sobbing and she's like, fuck you. You hurt me. You screwed over my feelings. I told you how I felt and you still went out there. You're like fucking this other bitch. And I'm pissed because I love you. Like I care about you. I want you. And you're not acting like you want me. You've spent this entire time fighting for me, wanting me, working for me. And then you just give up. You just don't care. You just walk away and you have no problem with that. That sucks. That hurts. I'm pissed. And like walks away. And Cordell waits a minute and then he just slowly walks. He's like, yo, Serena. And she's like, oh, fuck you. And she's like making haste. And he's like, hold up. No, run. Fucking run after her. Show her that it's important to you. Speed the fuck up. Okay. Run in there and be like, hey, no, listen to me. Listen to me. Fight for your woman. Um, Serena also then said, it didn't take me a week exploring other guys to know it was always you. Oh, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Amazing quote, amazing delivery. Uh, Kane following the boys but being silent, hilarious. So one of the girls had been single basically the entire time. Like the fact that she stayed as long as she did when she was just swinging through guys. Like she was not staying with anybody. She pulled one of the random Casa guys just so she wouldn't be sent home. And he, again, like these people have already been together for like a month and a half. And then you bring new people in and they're like, yeah, like one of the boys. And they're like, yeah, not really. You're not one of us. You're not one of us. So that was funny. Kendall's a little pot stirrer. We already talked about it. Kane also has turkey veneers, aka he just had one big tooth. And like he had such a heavy like lisp because of it, where you could tell that he couldn't really move his mouth. It was so funny. Like if you get veneers in turkey, people are like, yeah, it's just one tooth. Like all of the teeth look exactly the same. It's crazy. And that was what he had. And I was like, it's so funny to watch. Um, Another quote, I don't know who said this. No, I do know who said this was I want to say this was Rob, where he was talking to Daniela, I want to say, and he said, you're not an object, but if you were, you'd be a toaster. I need to unpack that. Why? Because she's hot. She makes good toast. Um, who did the boobs? I would like to know who all of their boob surgeons are because they look gorgeous. Okay, they look great. I'm just curious. The girls oohing and awing while getting Nicole dressed for Hideaway and contouring her boobs was true sisterhood. Again, everything about the sisterhood of this season, I just absolutely adored because I've watched other seasons of like UK Love Island, of Australian Love Island. Like, I love the show, but I don't think I've ever seen a season that the women are just so connected. It's the same thing with Summer House this year. Like, this is the year of really, truly sisterhood that we're seeing these women that are like, yeah, I might not, end up with this guy a year from now, but I'm going to make these women my sisters. These are the women that I'm turning to when I'm having this very vulnerable and wild emotional experience. And like, I love that. I miss that. It's so fun. And then like, again, getting ready to like go have sex with a guy with your girlfriends and being like, oh my God, we got to put on lingerie. Which one do we, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And like, just giggling and like with each other. I love, love, love. Um, Rob's overalls, they need to be burned. They all look gorgeous, but I can fully see some of their underwear when they sit in those teeny tiny dresses. And that is so shady of the producers to not be like, hey, girl, I see your panties right now. Do you want to pull your dress down a little bit? Aaron setting up the date to ask Kaylor to be his girlfriend. 10 out of 10. We love a big gesture king. I love a big gesture. Okay. Shout out to him. And they all seem low key sober enough. So I'm like curious about like they always look like they're drinking, but I'm like, they can't be drinking that much, right? Also, love Katie Maloney. hate her pink sequin dress. I think it's the ugliest fucking dress I've ever seen. Shit on that if you want. I don't care. 11 out of 10. Rob as the waiter in boxers and boots and a coat for Aaron and Kayla's date, where like Aaron had made dinner for the two of them and set up a little thing. And then they all like kind of hung out. And Rob was like, hey, hold on, I'll be right back. And goes in, changes into like shirtless with coat, white boxers that have little red hearts on them, and his cowboy boots, and serves them dinner. I do love that. Like, that was so cute. The real 12 out of 10 is Aaron's bromance with him. Kayla also in that scene had ripped off her acrylics, and I was like, that's so real. That like, all right, we're just ripping all of them off, and her nails are like shredded. I'm like, I've been there for sure. And then it dawned on me because he was like, I want you to be my girlfriend. I was like, you've already told her that you love her. You said I love you before you were in a relationship. That's crazy. Could not be me. Could not be me. Janae, every time she went, I'm getting married. So real. So real. Every single time that she was like, Kenny and I are getting real. I feel that. I feel that so hard. Cordell, when they did the hideaway for Janae and Kenny, and Cordell goes, take videos, not those kind of videos. Cause like hideaways where they go to have sex, right? Like that's like big romantic evening. And like for him, he was like, no, take videos of you guys as a couple that you're gonna want outside of here, of like you guys being cute and canoodling and whatever, but like don't make a sex tape. Like that'd be weird. And again, the way I love how all of the girls get together and get the girl that's going to the hideaway dressed, and the boys do the same thing. Like it's the best vibe to see, like, oh my God, we're doing it. Like it gives me like, oh, we're getting ready for like a wedding, like where it's like you're just having this fun, giggly time, and it's so exciting. And I love that. Rob pisses me off. Seeing him cry is crazy. I'm tired of it. You made your bed, humping it. Okay. Go have fun. I do feel bad for Daniela. I do feel bad for her. I think she was put in the middle. I think she had an unfair shot. Also, do their knees and hips not hurt? Like I'm watching these girls do crazy things. I'm like, I don't think I can handle that. Like genuinely, my hips start locking, my knees start hurting. Like they're going crazy. Like what is the workout to get to that point? Out of curiosity. The family calls, it is so weird that their families are like, I'm so proud of you. Cause like you just watch them strip tease every single person in here, right? You watch them like fully grinding, bumping, and humping random dudes every week. Like that's crazy that they're like, I'm so proud of you. For what? Putting myself out there, I guess. Leah and Rob did have a very good goodbye, but Rob is so rat-like he's such a bratty little guy. And I will say, I think Serena and Cordell definitely deserved to win. I was very happy about that. I love that Leah and Miguel were so surprised that they got second place, but it makes sense because Leah was a fan favorite. So like the final couples made a lot of sense to me based off of how they stood in the perception of media. I love that Leah was very much assuming that she had a negative reaction from the public. And so she was like, yeah, whatever you think about me, make it worse. Like, yeah, I'm probably much worse than you think that I am on here. Like, I'm a bitch. I know that I am. Like, deal with it. And the fact that, like, genuinely as a society, we were like, no, you're our favorite. We love you. But we love Serena and Cordell's story because they were start to finish. Like, they coupled up day one. And that was really exciting to watch. So that's what I've spent a lot of my time doing. I also watched The Bear. I finished season 3 of The Bear, watched all of it, and it was so triggering. Not because of like the intensity of working in a restaurant, but like the family dynamics and the like fuck uppery. Like the Christmas episode specifically, I had to take like a week off because I was like, that one was giving me like a trauma response to watch it. Cause I was like, that's how I grew up. Like that was a lot of holidays. I get that. I feel that. So there was that. I think that's it. Getting back in the swing of things. So I'll leave this with parting words of I love you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy to be back. I'm trying to get back into it. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for continuing to support me and all that I do. And I can't wait to continue providing such great, wholesome content for you. All right. I love you, friends. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok, live, laughed, loathed. You can follow us on Instagram at LongDFriendsPod and email us at longdfriendspod@gmail.com. Love you. Bye.